the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against the New Orleans Pelicans. And for New Orleans, they were undefeated against this squad last season, going 3-0. We'll see if they can continue that dominance. Kenny, I'll tell you what.
What?
We've already seen some big matchups to start this season. It's very early.
Yes.
But in the real world, how soon do you start thinking about playoff ramifications?
Oh, you start thinking about playoffs from day one.
Oh,
the end
come
goal
on.
is always some.
But you're not thinking about
it's
where you
always
are. Hey,
somewhere in
right
your
now
mind.
we play these guys.
Yes,
you know.
always. I look at them in 5.
2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The crowd is assembled here at the Target Center in Minneapolis, looking for the Timberwolves to have a victory here on their home floor. And we've got it for you live, right here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Brett Barry and Greg Anthony. We've got David Aldridge reporting from the sideline. Last outing for Minnesota, the loss to Detroit, and that does your confidence guys no favor. They got manhandled in that one. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, and in a hostile environment, they did not rise to the occasion, especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, it felt like they were teenagers during the summer. Low levels of activity, allowed too many good looks. Just not their night.
Let's quickly get a pregame update from David Aldridge, who had a chance to talk with head coach Alvin Gentry.
Well, guys, he told me they're up against a team that really finishes strong at the rim, and he wanted to get that point across to his players. He wants them to protect the rim with every bit of energy they've got throughout this entire contest. Let's see if they're up to it, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Battle of upstarts tonight. Both teams want to win, but also want to develop young talent. Brent, at this stage, is one goal more important than the other?
Yeah, I think development is first and foremost for each of these teams, Kevin. And sometimes you can learn more from losing than you can from winning. I was always told as a player growing up, when you lose, don't lose the lesson. The team right here with developing young talent needs to make sure that they adhere to that.
Tip-off goes to New Orleans. We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. Setting the floor now for the Pelicans. The bigs inside, Davis and Cousins. Holiday and Moore, the guards. And it's Cunningham in at the small forward. Wiggins kicks the tee. Back to Wiggins. And the pass to Towns. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Well, Towns does so many things on the floor, already an elite post scorer. But, Greg, one area that he has struggled with at times is his defense against other bigs.
And I think he'll continue to improve in that area. What happens with young guys, though, is oftentimes you're improved how good I am mode when you're young, and you lose sight of some of the things that help you win games. And I think that's one reason why he had one of the worst defensive RPMs in the entire league. But young bigs tend to take a bit longer to develop into great defenders, and I expect he will follow in that line. And looking at Towns and what he can do on the floor already at his age is impressive. This is a guy who's going to be a 20 and 10 player perhaps for the rest of his career. And as young as he is, I tell you, the sky is the limit.
And Davis gets it to go.
Enjoyed that unselfish play from Holiday for that swing pass to the open teammate.
Towns, a screen on Holiday. Gibson the screen. Wiggins kicks to Butler. Over Cunningham. Butler, no good. And when you look at the second year for Towns, it's comparable to other great big men in the history. That's a great dunk.
Freakish.
Man overboard.
Wow.
Well, the Brow doing a good job of reading and being aggressive after the read. Excellent at hitting the glass with the length that he has.
They set the pick. Towns, the screen. And the shot goes in.
And it's clear why Butler is a top-tier talent. Just remarkable at draining difficult shots.
Moore outside. Davis kicks to Holiday. From deep, Moore. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. And going against New Orleans, their first meeting of the year.
And going back to last season, they really struggled for wins. And even against a team like this with comparable talent, they didn't manage one win in the season series.
Outside Holiday. 6 to shoot. And it's Moore penetrating. They shoot again. He doesn't hit that one. And it's the Timberwolves taking it the other way. Here's Teague. Excellent D there from Holiday.
And forcing the miss there, he just knows how to pressure you defensively.
You hear a lot about rim protection. This is a good example of how valuable it can be. Each one more out of Purdue, the 45th pick in the 2011 draft. Really pretty much a 3-and-D combo guy and has some versatility even to guard the point guards.
That one is off. And Moore is certainly a self-made player. He prides himself, in fact, on his work ethic.
And think about in 2017, Moore coming around, drilling 77 three-pointers and shooting 37% last year. So becoming a bit more effective as a two-way player with those kind of numbers.
He hits the second from the line.
Moore, as an efficient scorer out here, plays well within himself on the offensive end.
Here's Towns. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
And right now they're like a light switch in the off position. 1 of 5 so far. Not an ideal start.
The shot by Holiday, no good. Moore against Butler. Right side Teague. Floats it up for Wiggins. Tries to keep it alive. Outside Holiday. Davis setting the pick for Holiday. And it's Davis at the elbow. Over Gibson. That one wide left.
And the fadeaway was the only option he had on that one. Defender there all over.
Butler against Holiday. Dishes it to T. Just 5 on the clock. Gibson the screen. Butler with the ball. Picked up by Davis. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. New Orleans in the lead. Pass to Cunningham. Fires from the corner, and Davis gets it to go. Davis has got his third basket of the night right there.
Alvin Gentry plucked away from the Warriors staff that won a title in 2015, and he was an assistant coach there. He sees the opportunity to take over his own team once again after having coached in Phoenix and headed to New Orleans. Now has a ton of talent on the inside. Can he get some guard help this year to make a push to the playoffs?
And Gentry has some great talent, certainly, to work with up front for the Pelicans. But, Brent, they haven't made the playoffs. How much patience will this franchise have?
Well, the first couple years, Kevin, you really have to look at the injuries that absolutely devastated this roster. So how do you look at Alvin Gentry and blame him for not having all the parts working because they simply didn't work? So the rumors around the front office and about second guessing. Let's give Alvin Gentry, especially after this massive trade, to bring in these two centers some time to put this thing together.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws.
Such a big bonus to have a big guy that can step up to the free throw line and knock down shots. So many guys struggle from there.
Cunningham passes to Davis. He feeds it to Cunningham. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. The Timberwolves have gone just 1 for 5 from the field to start the quarter. Butler kicks to T. Towns the screen. Higgins outside. Feeds it to Butler. Rocket 6. Over Cunningham. Good on the baseline, Jay. Butler's got his second bucket.
And how about Butler just rising up from there? A solid shooter when he's in that mid-range area.
Davis sets a screen. Butler against Moore. Floats one, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the point. It's on Jimmy Butler.
Moore goes into the contact. He's saying, I want more contact.
He's made one and missed one so far in the game.
And going back to his numbers from just a season ago, he was knocking it down at a 77% clip. I love the complementary aspect of this group now. You know, you've got the young talent, but you've brought in some veteran leadership here for the Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns kind of gave the confidence to them to go out and acquire a superstar in his prime like Jimmy Butler.
Greg, the core of this Timberwolves team is Wiggins and Towns. And, you know, rarely do you get to see two #1 overall picks team up early in their careers.
And how about back-to-back years? No less. But I consider Jimmy Butler kind of a foundational piece as well. He's in the conversation for the best shooting guard in our league.
Darius Miller, he's checked in for New Orleans. And Holiday kicks to Miller. Cousins with a screen on Wiggins, and it's Miller penetrating, laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Miller's got his first bucket in this one.
Phenomenal use of the body there to free himself up from the defender and get a clean look at the basket.
T with the ball. His last outing, he had 18 points. Here's Gibson. Hangs. The kick out to T. Good, and as this goes to Town. Teague's got himself on the board with 3 there.
And once Teague catches the ball, he fires it up and in. Gotta love his assertive attitude.
Tie game in Minnesota. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And a guy who seems to improve every season, Jimmy Butler. He spoke with us about one of his biggest surprises.
It's crazy because I never thought that anybody would be preparing to guard me night in and night out. But they do. I have to learn to cope with that and still find a way to be successful on both ends of the floor. And it's a learning curve for me also, but I'm figuring it out.
And hard to doubt the dedication of Jimmy Butler. He's found a way to overcome obstacles at each important point along the
Self-made player. And if Butler can stay healthy, boy, the sky's the limit.
And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. And let's quickly break down the game we're watching with the Timberwolves, guys.
I mean, through that first quarter, to me, it's all about their D.
There's a lot of ways to build a lead. This one's built on stop.
On the court right now, second quarter for the Pelicans. The star big men pair of Davis and Cousins are up front. Allen is out there with Jameer Nelson. And it's Miller in at the 3 spot. And he can't get the first one. The pick and roll takes great timing for both players and a feel for the game and what the defense is going to show. Brent, in your opinion, which tandems are the best at running it?
Well, I think Russell Westbrook and Steven Adams have really done a great job of establishing a great chemistry in the pick and roll. And it's interesting, Kevin, because as centers and point guards play together, The more games that they have, the more used to one another they are in terms of sometimes setting good hard screens and sometimes not really setting a screen at all, setting up the slip and creating opportunities that way. Russell Westbrook, Steven Adams, Chris Paul, insert player here. Pretty good combinations.
Yeah, I like that.
And another momentum shift. These teams going back and forth all night.
Yeah, which team's going to find some consistency first? Neither one can pull away.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, analytics has taken over the NBA, but Minnesota coach and president of basketball says it doesn't tell you everything. He said analytics can measure a lot of things, but it's very difficult to measure drive. The magic is in the work. Kevin?
And Tom Thibodeau makes a good point, D.A. Analytics is certainly helpful, but it doesn't capture everything. Cousins with a screen on Crawford. Back to Nelson. Screen by Cousins. Nelson dishes to Cousins. Shot clock at 6. And the officials call a traveling violation. Let's take a look at last year's leading shot blockers. You don't want one of these guys in front of you when you're Anthony Davis is second.
And shot blocking is the element of the game that I think he cares about the most. That's where he puts in that effort and energy.
Jang, the pass to Teague. Towns, a screen on Nelson. Here's Teague. Oh, good on that one. Good tee by Nelson.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Oh, man, he'd love to have that one back. He just does everything right. Doesn't get the finish.
Teague against Nelson. Teague kicks to Crawford. Gets stolen by Allen. And now it's Nelson running. He can go all the way. And denied. He sends it right off the glass. And he's able to get it back. Allen's shot is off.
Oh, and Nadeed did not make that any easier. Can't fault the shooter for missing. That's a tough shot.
Well, that's one way he can finish, but far from the only way he gets it done. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve.
And the Pelicans at last season's trade deadline making the big deal for DeMarcus Cousins.
You know, you look at Anthony Davis being paired with Cousins, and certainly on paper, you could make the argument that they've got the best 1-2 punch on the front line in the league. Two Kentucky guys, great size and offensive skill in terms of their versatility. If they can surround them with shooters and some perimeter defense, I think this group could be scary.
Here's Towns, and he banks in the layup. Towns has got the lead up to 3 now for Minnesota.
It really turned it around here in the second quarter after shooting less than 40% from the field in the first.
Cousins against Towns. Cousins dishes to Nelson. Nelson with another miss. Out of bounds, New Orleans will take possession. Now let's check out the rebounds and where they're coming from. Here's a breakdown showing the front court and the back court rebounding numbers for Minnesota.
And their big men are getting the bigger percentage of these boards. You know, you expect that, and they'll need them to continue to patrol the paint and clean up the mess if they're going to win this game.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Muhammad, he's checked in for Wiggins. Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And Tyus Jones subbed in for T. Clark for 3. Good. And it's Cousins picking up the assist. It's all knotted up.
And you can see Cousins starting to figure it out a little bit. I like to see him dish the rock like that. So skilled at passing the ball for a big.
Muhammad against Allen. Low block shot. Muhammad, no luck. New Orleans gone 1 or 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. A putback. It's good on the putback. And the Pelicans lead by 2.
Sensational putback slam from AD there. No one bodies him up, and because of that, he's free to dunk.
Screen by Jones. Outside Butler. 5 on the clock. The shot by Muhammad. Nobody around. Here's Towns. Fouled in the act of shooting. A 3-point play chance coming up.
And started hot, and he's only gotten harder.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Jang. And then for New Orleans, Cunningham comes in for Allen. And it's Holiday in for Nelson. And that one misses. Frank, you certainly grew up around basketball. Your dad was a legend. Your brothers certainly played at a very high level. What kind of advantage do you think that gave you, if any, as your career was progressing?
That's funny, Kevin. I can't get away from it. I'm sitting next to you now, and we're watching basketball. So,
I know it. Here it is.
The advantage, I think, is just absorbing all of that stuff. Maybe on a subconscious level, that you're taking in everything about what the profession was going to represent for you, if in fact you got there. And thank goodness I did.
Well, I always said you had a very wide view. Your lens was always wide, capturing as much as you could gather.
Yeah, it was like a 10 to 22 on any camera.
Clark kicks to Cousins. Shoots over Towns. Cousins, no good. If they time it right, they can end this quarter with a 2 for 1.
And that's how you want to end the quarters.
Jones, the pass to Towns. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation. Holiday left side. We've got 13 seconds left to play in the first half. And Cousins kicks to Clark. Shot clock at 5. An easy layup after he's got 5 points in the quarter.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Well, he's also crafty with how he approaches it. Right there, he uses just the right move to lay it in.
And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. New Orleans on top, up by 2. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Alvin Gentry. Coach, you're leading at the half. What will you continue to emphasize to your team?
Well, I mean, defensively, we still have to be good. We got to rebound the basketball. And then we've got to continue to push the basketball and score.
We'll see if you can keep that going in the second half, Coach. Thanks. Back to you.
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
It is a good game we have here after one half of play. Welcome, everybody, to the halftime show. I'm Ernie Johnson. The guy nodding over here is Kenny the Jet Smith. And the guy that's doing that is Shaquille O'Neal. A competitive matchup for New Orleans in the first quarter. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. If you look at the second quarter scoring, they had a small edge. They really hung tough as we got close to halftime. Kenny, your thoughts? How the Pelicans are playing?
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
Shaq, what you think about Minnesota?
They ran their offense very well in the first half. There were almost no forced shots. It was good, smart basketball. The motion in their offense was terrific. They made those defenders work very hard. I like what I saw from them for the most part.
And that will wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the second half.
We come back to Minnesota now with a striking look at the 10th Avenue Bridge, downtown Minneapolis, off in the distance. And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
Yeah, great job from him in that first half of drawing fouls and getting to the line.
Well, that is a great equalizer here. You want him to play that physical, but how do you do that without creating too much contact?
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. The Timberwolves trail. And Greg, you wouldn't expect it from a Coach Thibodeau team, but defense was an issue for the Timberwolves last year.
And the Wolves brought in Butler to help with offense, but more importantly, his defense. And Butler, familiar with what Thibs likes to do on both ends of the floor, has the leadership the team needs, particularly on the defensive end.
Butler teamed with Wiggins as the deadly wing duo. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle, and it's Teague in at the point. So that's who Tom Thibodeau starts the second half with. Towns, the screen. Here's Butler. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Rumors about Butler being traded from Chicago were circulating last season. Draft day comes around, and the Minnesota Timberwolves made their move, Greg, to acquire him.
Yeah, and the more you look at it, the trade looks great for Butler and the Wolves. It reunites him with Coach Thibodeau, joins an incredibly young core in Towns. The limit, I think, for this young Wolves team.
First one falls for him.
And Butler does so many things well. I mean, shoots a high percentage from everywhere, and a gritty defender. He does it all.
And so Butler nails both of them.
Encouraging seeing him knock down the free throw.
Teague against Holiday. The feed to Moore. They set the pick. There's the dish to Cousins. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Yeah, and last season, DeMarcus Cousins moving on in that blockbuster trade. Now you like Cousins, but he was pleased, I think, to put all the rumors of being traded to bed.
That one falls for DeMarcus Cousins. And with Cousins, he found out that he was being traded to the Pelicans while at the All-Star game in New Orleans.
And it's never easy fitting in with another star like the Brow, but Cousins is just so skilled that you knew they would find a balance. And at the end of the day, Cousins seems to be happy with a team who's committed to him.
Hey, Brent, what's more important, offense or defense? Some guys are great at both.
Well, offense is sometimes what you get paid for, but defense is where you need a buy-in. And so to me, it's always the defense and the way that you construct that camaraderie on that end of the floor, that communication on that end of the floor, that's going to make the difference in your season.
Don't you love two-way guys that play hard at both ends? It's hard to do, but the guys that do it well really stand out.
Well, it's not football, Kevin. There's 2 sides that you have to play in basketball, and certainly the more equipped that you are to play both, the more playing time you're going to see for a coach.
Here's Davis, and Gibson sends it back.
Taj Gibson doing just getting the hands up and then coming to play with the block.
Towns dishes to Wiggins. Back to Towns. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Towns has got 13.
They didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
And here's Holiday. He's been patient so on the scoreboard. Shot clock at 6. Moore with it. Now guarded by Towns. Shoots from the line. Cousins on the follow. Cousins has got the lead up to 4 now for New Orleans.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Here's Wiggins. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Wiggins has got his second basket. And Holiday kicks to Cousins. And he's fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming up.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
DeMarcus Cousins, a big guy without a doubt who can carry the offensive load for any team that he's playing on. He puts up some incredible numbers on some decent offensive efficiency, over 20 shots a game though the last few seasons.
Jang, he's checked in for Minnesota. Crawford comes in for Butler. And a chance. Miller's checked in. free throw, good from Cousins. And for Cousins, one of the reasons he can carry a team on offense is how many different ways he can score.
Well, he does an amazing job line. In a couple seasons in his career so far, Kevin, has been over 10 free throws a game. Those are easy points to put up on the board.
On the wing, Jamal Crawford, covered by Miller, off the screen. Bounces high off the rim and drops.
The defender must have felt like he ran into a brick wall right there. Really great screen set to give his teammate the wide open shot.
And stolen by Wiggins. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
No question, he got bumped on that shot. And still varying opinions out there of what Andrew Wiggins can and can't do. But one thing that's indisputable, he's an incredible scorer. Whether it half-court transition, he can flat out fill it up in a hurry. Shooting 2.
Free throw good, Wiggins. And Wiggins, his young career just getting better and better at scoring, Greg, while increasing his workload.
Yeah, and very few scorers can do that, especially from that 2-guard spot. Wiggins has that special talent where he can flat out carry an offense. Scary to think that this is a kid who is just scratching the surface. Yeah, and the Pelicans, after making the playoffs in 2015, had some high expectations with superstar Anthony Davis, but last year was a bit of a disappointment, and it forced them to kind of pull the trigger and go out and land DeMarcus Cousins. So their fortunes now, I think, are going to be held by those 2 anchors on the front line.
Crawford outside. This is it to Gibson. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Teague, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. That one on Davis. Greg, what would you say is the key for the Pelicans to get back in the playoff mix?
There's several. I think rebounding was a big problem. The trade for Cousins should help in that area, and every team needs more shooting. But I think in particular, this group does. And then first and foremost, look, you got to stay healthy. Hard to figure out what you have when you never get a chance to see it.
And the first one drops.
And the Timberwolves, a team that is evolving how you imagine they would with Tibbs running things here. Deliberate approach on both ends of the floor and really looking to dominate the rebounding margins.
And so Teague gets 2 free throws. Greg, in the areas you just talked about, rebounding and pace, the Timberwolves are very much where they want to be.
Yeah, the team just looks to make the most out of their possessions and try to beat you through efficiency. They have players that can get easy transition points when the opportunity presents itself, but in general, they aren't trying to speed the game up.
Gibson the screen. They set the pick. Picked away. Here's Clark. And he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. Clark's got 7 points in the game. And that replay presented by Under Armour, showing us the fantastic steal that led to that fast break finish. Another Unleash Chaos moment. 1:02 left to play in the third. T kicks to Zhang. Wiggins against Miller. Back to Zhang. In the corner, it's Wiggins. Over Miller. The Timberwolves again can't hit.
Not a lot of defense there. You can't afford to let guys shoot freely from the mid-range. They're not going to miss those all that often.
To the middle. Here's Cousins. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And I know they don't really want him to walk in there, but there's got to be some resistance on Cousins when he gets positioned that deep.
For New Orleans, they have shot 6 of 7 at the line. first one at the line is good.
And if they continue, Kevin, their outstanding free throw shooting, that'll help them seal the deal.
That one is no good.
I think the attitude talk about DeMarcus Cousins has been played out for so long. It's about celebrating the times that he's right, because when he's right, he's right.
Outside Teague. Pass to Crawford. He dishes it to Wiggins. And Miller with the block. DeMarcus Cousins, he's been the guy making things happen for New Orleans. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. And now we take a listen into the recent huddle from Tom Thibodeau.
One shot, then when we make the miss, run through so we get some space. Make the game easy.
You know, guys, we hear a lot of coaches preach all this. Tom Thibodeau wanting defensive rebounding and then faster pace on offense.
Yeah, and that shows you he knows the pulse of his team. He knows that they're not quite energized. Their play rises to a whole nother level when they are.
We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. So for New Orleans right now, the bigs Davis and Cousins. Holiday out there with Ian Clark, and it's Allen in at the three, the small forward. And they pick up two. 15 points for Karl Anthony Towns.
And from day one, Towns has been one of the NBA's top post players. A versatile, well-rounded game on the low block. It doesn't hurt that he can step outside and knock down the jumper either.
And now here comes Jones leading the break over Holiday. And that one hits back iron. It's stolen by Jones. In the corner, it's Crawford. Right up is that one.
And smart defender there. It's the play, wastes no time trying to blow it up.
And what I like best is that he does it completely under control. Really gives nowhere to turn to.
Right side Jones. Takes the 13-footer. And it's rebounded by DeMarcus Cousins. Cousins has got rebound number 8 now on the night. He kicks to Holiday. Back to Cousins. Over Towns. Good on the 13-footer. Cousins has got the lead up to 5 now for New Orleans.
I mean, you can cover DeMarcus Cousins on the inside, and he'll still find ways to go through you. I love watching that big guy eat down there.
Crawford missing again.
I'm a little surprised he missed that one so badly. The defense was nowhere to be found.
And Cousins kicks to Holiday. Cousins with a screen for Allen. Cousins with a screen on Wiggins. In at the drive. 5 on the clock. The basket counts and 1. They'll go to the line with a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Are we sure that's the same player, guys? He looks completely different. What confidence he's playing with, and look how engaged he is on both ends.
Butler, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Dante Cunningham's checked in for New Orleans. He's in for Ian Clark.
And just a better line here in the second half. Didn't get there once in the first.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Here's Towns. It's good. Now he's shooting 6.
Few bright spots for his team. I mean, he's had a very efficient offensive performance.
No doubt without these contributions, they'd be in a much deeper hole in this one, no question.
And Moore kicks to Davis. Towns with the steal. Outside Butler. Now the pass to Jones. Towns dishes to Wiggins. Lock at 6. 16 feet away. No good on the shot. A bit long that time.
And hard work on the glass. Once again, guys, they put a lot of effort and focus on the backboard.
Cousins against Towns. Davis sets a screen. Holiday with the 3. And the Pelicans miss again. Timberwolves trail by 6. Kicks it out to Wiggins. The good-looking shot from the wing.
Competing hard down the stretch. He wants the ball. That time, he delivered.
He's a dangerous scorer in general, but there he zeroes in on what matters most.
Here's Cousins. Minnesota with the rebound. Towns has got his 8th rebound here tonight. Butler sets a screen for Jones. Kicks to Wiggins. Over Cunningham. Misses off the right iron. New Orleans leading by 4. Outside Holiday. Dishes to Cousins. Shoots over Towns. The putback. Great positioning on the putback.
Just in a perfect position to grab that rebound and then get the putback.
They set the screen. Wiggins with it. He's against Cunningham. Wiggins passes to Butler. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. Offensive rebound.
He's clearly been the best rebounder on the floor today.
His rebound total now in the double digits. Been an animal all night long.
Jones against Holiday. Cousins with a screen on Wiggins. From 15 feet away, and it's Davis missing.
And at a certain point, there's just nothing more you can do.
Well, they're nearing that point right now. Everything would have to go. Shot.
Yeah, heard the whistle and then kept his focus, still knock it down.
And the Timberwolves making a change. Diggs checked in.
One shot.
Free throw good. Wiggins. 32 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Guys, they're not going to be in any rush on this possession.
Not with the lead. Now's the time to burn some clock.
Minnesota calls timeout. They're trailing by 3. We've got 22 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Guys, what do you think?
You know, you'd love to be able to clear space and get that triple, but you can also do the 2 with a quick foul.
Well, it really depends on what's available, so we'll see how the defense lines up here.
And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game to Marcus Cousins.
And his percentage reflects just how efficient he's been. Better than 50%, always a sign of a solid offensive performance. But his movement and his shot selection have also both been tremendous.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Thanks, guys. I listened to Tom Thibodeau talking to his team during the break. This is a close game, as you know, and he sounded extremely confident. He told the players, don't let up now, fellas. This is when we make our move. Right now. Kevin?
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
He drops the first one, and that brings them within 2.
And as from the way he plays, Teague is a terrific free throw shooter.
And so Teague gets 2 free throws.
He is absolutely the guy you want at the line in that situation. It just shows you how much he loves these moments. Honestly, just doing what they have to in order to get the basketball back.
Here's Holiday, and an intentional foul right there. First, and that will put them up by 2.
He's only listed at 6'4", but Holiday plays bigger than that. That's on D anywhere else. He can guard 3 positions, and there's a lot of value in that.
So he gets them both, and it's a 3-point game.
Huge free throws, bumps the lead up to 3, and now they simply have to guard against the 3 ball.
And the Timberwolves call time. They're trailing by 3. There's 18 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Here's Teague. Count it, and the foul. It's on DeMarcus Cousins.
Well, that is NBA level right there.
No doubt, professional move all the way, puts the team on his back when it matters most.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
He sinks the clutch free throw.
When you talk about coming through at crucial moment, what a job to tie this thing up.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. The score knotted at 50. We've got 13 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Pass to Moore. He feeds it to Davis. Over Gibson. Yes!
Well, with the game's outcome hanging in the balance, Davis does exactly what he needs to do, a gigantic shot from their big man.
So it's a narrow victory for the Pelicans, pulling it out for the W. They break the hearts of every fan in the building with a dramatic late victory.
And Kevin, this is the kind of win you have to take a ton of pride in. I mean, they battled with everything they had and came through when the pressure was at its highest.
A chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Anthony, tell us the focus for the team coming into the game tonight.
Well, before we started the game, Coach came in and told us we knew what we had to do. We were trying to stop a lot of their action, and our biggest focus for the game was guard the ball. That's what we did, come out of that timeout and never look back.
And it led to a win. Thank you for your time, Anthony. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. See you next time.